G.I. Joe Hall of Fame collection. Duke, Stalker, Snake Eyes, and Cobra Commander. Each 12 inches tall and authentically detailed with real combat accessories and light and sound weapons for really big action. The G.I. Joe Hall of Fame collection. It's a whole new way to play. Figures sold separately.
I wish this could last all night. All night, all night, all night.
Duracell. Oh, it can. And tomorrow night, and maybe the next night, and the following day. The copper top. No battery is stronger, longer.
Who's got a crush on you?
Hello, hunks. It's Dream Phone, the electronic game with the talking phone. To win cool guys, get clues, figure out which guy really likes you.
He's not wearing a hat.
Bye, guys. What'd he say? My secret. Ah, to you.
He's not at the beach.
See you later, guys. It's Dan. Dan, my man.
You're right. I really like you.
Yes. Dream Phone, the hot electronic talking phone game.
It's for you.
Cheese, glorious cheese.
Order Italian food with real cheese. Order Mexican food with real cheese.
Cheese, glorious cheese.
Order sandwiches with real cheese. Whatever you order in your favorite restaurant, real cheese makes it better.
It's cheese, marvelous cheese, fabulous cheese, glorious cheese.
What's Nickelodeon's new game show Finders Keepers all about? It's easy. All you gotta do is find the hidden pictures.
Hot dog is correct.
Find the hidden clues.
Is it the cone? Is it the cone? It is the cone for $50.
Keep the cash. Keep the prizes. Keep it all.
All right, you ready to go? All right. Find it.
Finders Keepers. Find it every weekday at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock Central, only on Nickelodeon.
You know why Crunch Berries are special?
You bet! Because Captain Crunch only picks sweet, yummy, special berries like us!
Making my Crunch Berry cereal.
Very delicious.
Yay, Crunch Berries!
Crunch Berries are a very sweet part of a balanced breakfast.
When you got a big taste for bubble gum, you can follow the captain and get yourself some. 2 whole packs that'll blow you away in peanut butter crunch or Crunch Berries. Hey, rainbow bubble gum, especially marked boxes.
Where are you going with those stripes?
That's Aqua Fresh for kids. Just follow me.
Toothpaste? I hate to brush.
Aqua Fresh for kids makes brushing fun. It's got a zingy taste kids love. Fluoride too, and it's easy to pump and has a neat top.
Great, but how are you going to get those stripes in there?
Watch. Aqua Fresh for kids. I make brushing fun.
My McDonald's Happy Meal, please. Thank you. My McDonald's Happy Meal, please.
Rubble, rubble.
Hamburglar, you've really become attached to that McDonald's Happy Meal.
Here come the Fraggles in their vegetable cars. And you can get either Gobo Fraggle, or Red, or Boober and Wembley, or Moki when you buy a McDonald's Happy Meal featuring Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock toys at McDonald's.
Cronin takes the ball at the top of the key. He pumps. Jerry! 3-point! He's double teamed. He's driving over the top. Slam dunk for Jerry! What moves? Cronin steals. They're all over him. He breaks loose. Swish! Jerry! You know, ever since I got this Nerf hoop, I don't mind going to my room to do my homework. Jerry! Are you studying? Cronin shoots from midcourt. Yes! Does this kid ever miss?
There's only one Nerf.
Hi, time for timer. What? No time for breakfast? Now look, since 6 o'clock last night you haven't eaten a bite. Come on, I'll show you why that's really not the way for a growing kid to start a busy day. Here we are inside your body, and this noisy empty space is your stomach getting angry because there's no food in the place. Uh-oh, let's find some food fast. Now listen. I don't want you to think this is the best way to eat breakfast, but in case you can't cook, and if you haven't time for a good cereal and a well-balanced meal, then this quickie breakfast is better than nothing at all, okay? Hey, here's orange juice and milk and fruit just waiting to be taken. And bless my soul, right here's a bowl with one cold piece of steak in, a hard-boiled egg, a chicken leg, or cheese or luncheon meat, or a peanut butter sandwich. Any time of day is a treat. So to keep your mom from grumbling and stop that stomach rumbling and keep your legs from stumbling when you play, you gotta eat some kind of breakfast every day.
Who cares?
Class is in session at Bayside High. There's biology,
Chocolate-covered grasshoppers.
chemistry, psychology.
Doesn't anybody feel the way I feel?
Saved by the Bell premieres Monday, November 2nd on TBS.
I was tired, listless. My hair looked bad. My dog moved away. My life was as bland as your average chicken sandwich. Then I tried McDonald's new Max Grill. Now this was different. A marinated chicken breast with Monterey Jack, sweet red onions, tangy herb dressing on an oven-fresh roll. Well, things changed. My hair looks great. My dog came home, and we struck oil in the backyard.
Coincidence? We don't think so. Try McDonald's new Max Grill. Further proof that what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Introducing Quackers, little ducks with a lot of flavor. So now, all the cheddar cheese flavor of a cheddar cheese puff is in a little duck. And all the sour cream and onion flavor of a sour cream and onion chip is also in a little duck. New flavor-coated Quackers in sour cream and onion, crispy original and cheddar. A lot of flavor in a little duck.
It only happens once a year. The spirit, the spell, the haunting of Halloween 1987. The treat is all day, all night horror. The trick is to get out alive. From the true masters of scaremonies to classic tales of terror, you're invited to celebrate Halloween 1987. Saturday on USA.
Monday, you're invited to a wild Halloween party at Melrose Place.
What are you doing on the loose?
Well, I guess all the monsters and goblins are out.
Get ready for an evening of shocking surprises
I'm pregnant.
and things that go bump in the night. Melrose Place, part of Fox's Halloween Bash, Monday.
I may live through 2023. I'm not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, all right? Just hold on. You are a cunt. Man or woman, you are a cunt. A C-U-N-T what? Cunts. I happen to love the word.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay. Next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls. I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops. Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said, and I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl, like
that is the best shit fucking
shopping for the dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the feet.
Shout out to Cherry for just being just easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had, man. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. Woo! People. The hell is going on in these streets, man? Y'all are killing me right now. We need to recalibrate, folks. Okay? I understand that things are a little off. I get it. Things are a little off, but we can recalibrate. We'll be okay. I promise. So let's just call a spade, right? Let's just call things for what they are. I'll get to that in just a second. Before I do, let me go ahead and just play this little clip here.
Also breaking, the blogger known as Turtle Boy has returned to court and he's now facing new charges.
Yeah, Aiden Kearney answered to charges filed over a domestic incident. This is the latest legal trouble for the man who gained infamy by floating conspiracy theories about that high-profile murder case. NBC 10's Mary Marcos is joining us now from outside of that court in Dedham with the very latest on this case. Hey, Mary.
Hey guys, his arraignment just wrapped up here. I mean, it's
So we can kind of see, folks, where Boston 10 is coming from. I mean, hear that one more time.
Also breaking, the blogger known as Turtle Boy has returned to court and he's now facing new charges.
Yeah, Aiden Kearney answered to charges filed over a domestic incident. This is the latest legal trouble for the man who gained infamy by floating conspiracy theories about that high-profile murder case. NBC 10's Mary Mark.
Bro, the blogger who obtained infamy by floating conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories? I mean, that's fair. Okay, for a second, let's be realistic, folks. We're not going to get anywhere if we come off like a bunch of fucking loons. Okay? Let's just be honest. We're not going to get anywhere if we come off like a bunch of fucking loons. The fact of the matter is that we don't actually have proof of what happened in that house. Turtle Boy has been very vocal about his theories as to what took place inside 32 Fairview. But that's the only theory. What is clearly a fact based on evidence is John O'Keefe was inside that house after the witnesses tried to say that he was not inside that house. Lies, a mass lie. That right there, folks, is a conspiracy to lie. They conspired to come up with one particular lie, just one so far, okay, that I'm bringing up. I'm not saying one that exists. I'm saying one that I brought up so far. One lie. That's just one. It's only one so far that I'm bringing up. But there are many. But they absolutely conspired to come up with this one ridiculous lie. So when people say things like a conspiracy theory to make you and me and all of us sound crazy, well, it's not so crazy, is it? When there's evidence to indicate that all of these fucking people lied in order to spin the same narrative, which is that John O'Keefe was not inside that house. We all know for a fact that he absolutely was. Oh my goodness. No.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think.
MJ Monroe, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, so now you can see that this person is on the Jennifer Coffindoffer bandwagon there, right? She's absolutely, infamy. She had to put emphasis on the word infamy, in order so that you know the difference between being infamous and famous. And nobody here is all, at least I'm not sitting here going, oh my God, Turtle Boy is so famous. Yay. I don't give a shit. I care about the things that he's doing. If it means him being well known based on the things that he has uncovered, that's fine. He absolutely deserves that notoriety. He absolutely deserves the recognition for his work, for sure. No doubt about that. But that is not why I'm here. I am not here to celebrate Turtle Boy for uncovering these things, because all of those things that Turtle Boy has uncovered means nothing unless we do something about it, unless we do something with that information, unless that information is applied in order to get John O'Keefe justice, in order to get Karen Reed at least a fair shake in all of this. But it's way too late for that. I'll talk about that a little bit too. Oh my goodness. Y'all are killing me right now.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. think we got a super chat.
Thank you so much, Don O'Neill. Sorry about that. Don O'Neill. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'll talk about Bill Cannon in a little bit too. I've got a bit of an idea that I'll run by you guys as far as that goes. Now, it's really interesting. You have to pay attention because the news, when it comes to mainstream media, or at least like local news stations, they don't straight up say their opinions like you would hear, say, Tucker Carlson do on Fox News or whoever the fuck who's on CNN, because I don't watch CNN. And the only reason I know Tucker Carlson is because there's somebody that I know that just has Fox News is running all the fucking time, and it's just impossible for the shit to not enter my subconscious. So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Luna's mom, 24. Thank you. Gotta hurry before you F-bomb the heck out of the stream and shut the I'll probably start with the F-bombs. Dude, what are you doing? Come here. Hey, give me that. Come here. Give me that. Can you give that to me, please? Dude. Thank you. Okay. I'm letting Clever hang out in here because as you can see, I took the Christmas tree down. I'm not worried about him knocking it down. So, and I think I've got most everything that he's going to chew on that isn't a toy out of here, but obviously I didn't. So, but Clever will be hanging out in here with me from now on, unless he gets too uncontrollable and then I have to put him in the other room. But yes, thank you, Luna's mom. Appreciate that. Now, let me play the rest of the clip here. But notice that local news, like they won't just straight up, give opinions. That they plant little seeds. They make little implications. You know what I mean? Little almost passive aggressive little implications. Like, he gained infamy by spouting conspiracy theories. How she puts these emphasis on certain words, which is, you got to use your eyes, folks. Pay attention. You got to pay attention.
Mary Marcos is joining us now from outside of that court in Dedham with the very latest on this case. Hey, Mary.
Hey guys, his arraignment just wrapped up here. I mean, it started more than 2 hours ago, and it's all related to this 12-page witness statement. Now, this is where Aiden Kearney was arraigned, the controversial blogger known as Turtle Boy, arraigned in Dedham District Court on the charges of assault and battery and witness intimidation. It all stems from allegations from a woman who says she had been dating Kearney for about 3 months. It also comes after he pleaded not guilty on Friday to a slew of charges related to the Karen Reed case. The woman who claims to be Kearney's ex-girlfriend says she was given a subpoena related to the investigation, and they agreed he would go to her apartment to talk about it in person. During that 3 to 4 hour period, she claims he threatened to release personal information and explicit photos of her and ultimately pushed her into a couch. Now, his lawyer is denying her claims. Kearney was ordered held without bail. He's due back here in court for a pretrial hearing in January. We're live in Dedham. Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.
Prove it. Prove it. But it doesn't matter. The judge made his decision, and Turtle Boy's in jail for 90 days. We are where we are, folks. I'm not happy about it. Nobody's happy about it, but we are where we are. I mean, what can you do? Right? We can bitch and moan about it all day, or we can continue to discuss why we're all here in the first place, which is Karen Reed and John O'Keefe. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that as far as discussing the case so much today, That's not what this is about. This is more about the fact that I'm already seeing a tear in some of the morale ever since Turtle Boy's arrest, which is bound to happen. It's bound to happen, and I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm not here to criticize anyone or fault anyone. That's not what I'm here to do at all. Because I do understand it and I totally get it. And the fact of the matter is no matter what, you have every right and your own responsibility to do what you need to do for you. There's nothing wrong with that. People, you have your lives, you have the people in your lives, you have your jobs, you have things of this nature. And if those things are threatened, you have every right to say, you know what? It's not worth it, and that's totally cool. And I will never, ever, ever judge you for that. I will never judge you for that. And I am going to skip the song just because I want to move this along. But thank you, Jacqueline, so much. Glare, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Jacqueline. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, I wouldn't call that hillbilly night. I wouldn't say that hillbilly nitro. I wouldn't say that at all. And I don't think that that's fair, because that's also what this is about, is to stop people from jumping to those conclusions, because they're not fair conclusions to jump to. First off, like I said, I want to reiterate this point. Every person here, including myself, if I decide tomorrow, honestly, and I mean this with all my heart, if I decide tomorrow to just completely and totally stop talking about Turtle Boy, Karen Reed, John O'Keefe, everything, and just change my content altogether, then that's my prerogative. And if I get criticism for it, fuck those people who criticize me for it. Because I have every right to do exactly whatever the fuck I want to do with my channel, with my platform, and with the things that I talk about. So every person here has every right to do the same very thing. And I will not criticize you for it, ever. But there's also something to keep in mind here. And I'm going to get to that later on, after I get to this. Now, LTL sent me this just before the stream started, so appreciate that, Brian. My bad. 1 second here.
Attention now to Massachusetts, where a judge has revoked bail for Aiden Kearney, also known online as Turtle Boy, after he was hit with some new charges.
Yeah, reports say the controversial blogger was arrested Tuesday and charged with assault and battery of a member of a household and intimidation of a witness.
Prosecutors say that he shoved his ex-girlfriend, who was a witness in the ongoing murder investigation of a Boston police officer, John O'Keefe. Now, investigators believe O'Keefe was killed by his girlfriend, Karen Reed, outside of a home back in January of 2022.
Let's listen now as our Court TV's own Chanley Painter has a closer look at the case.
John O'Keefe was a good cop, and he was a good man. That's why my client was with him.
Karen Reed is accused of causing the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, after a night of heavy drinking. Prosecutors claim Reed backed her car into O'Keefe during a snowstorm and left him to die. But Reed's defense says the Commonwealth has it all wrong.
With each new piece of evidence that comes in, we're more and more convinced of my client's innocence.
O'Keefe's snow-covered body was found outside the home of another officer in Canton, Massachusetts. According to the prosecution's statement of the case, the couple was invited to the house after the bars in downtown Canton closed. Witnesses told investigators they last saw the couple at the Waterfall Bar and Grill. Others said they saw a black SUV resembling Reed's parked outside the house, but never saw O'Keefe come inside. Reed told investigators that she dropped him off at the after party and never heard from him again.
She went home to take care of the kids, and then she called him 49 times. Where are you? Why aren't you back? She was the one to go back to that residence to look for him. She was the one to find him. She was the one to try and keep him warm and give him CPR and try and revive him.
But Norfolk County prosecutors question those actions. They claim voicemails and text messages detail strains in the relationship and the victim's desire to
Wait,
end
I gotta say what's up to Wendy, y'all. What's up, Wendy? It's good to see you. Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good Christmas.
their relationship, including a voicemail from the night he died in which Reed allegedly told O'Keefe that she hated him. Also, O'Keefe's niece and nephew who lived with him.
Now, I gotta tell you, folks, like, so if I take, and it really doesn't matter who I'm dating, any girl, current one, ex, doesn't matter. If I don't answer after like the third text, you know, or third attempt of calling, I get a fuck you and I hate you. I can't tell you how many times a significant other has told me that they hated me. It kind of goes with it kind of goes with being me. You know what I mean? And that's most guys here, you know. It just is. You know? It just is. Cherry tells me she hates me in the chat. You know what I mean? Like so the fact that they're using that to blow this case up in the media to make it seem like, you know, to make it seem like that's some sort of sign that she's guilty, that she said I hated you. I mean, that's anybody, dude. That's anybody. Paul Cristoforo, thank you so much. We move forward together. The greatest gift and emotional support we could give Turtle Boy is to continue our pursuit for justice for John and Karen. I completely and 100% agree. Thank you, Paul. Absolutely. Okay. Sorry, I got Cherry going. My bad. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they're trying to make that and spin this in the media, like, and she was quoted in saying, I hate you. Yeah. And so were like 4 billion other women in the world. Pick a language. Pick a language. Guarantee you within the last 6 months, they sent a text to somebody saying that they hated him. Guaranteed. Doesn't matter.
Allegedly told police that the couple fought constantly about the relationship and breaking up before his death. Prosecutors point to a broken taillight on Reed's SUV, pieces of which were allegedly found near O'Keefe's body, to suggest she ran her car into him. A forensic pathologist opined that significant blunt force trauma injuries occurred prior to Mr. O'Keefe becoming hypothermic. Cuts and bruises were found on O'Keefe's head and arm.
Somebody being hit by a car, I would submit, does not look like they had been punched out by Mike Tyson. And the victim here looked like he had been punched out by Mike Tyson.
Reed's lawyer, David Yannetti, says his client is not responsible for O'Keefe's injuries.
I believe that the evidence shows that she didn't hit him. I've said in the past that his injuries are not consistent with being hit by a vehicle. And by the way, the Lexus tail light braking, coming in contact with a human being and not a hard surface, makes no sense to me. I think it's going to make no sense to a jury.
If not Reed, who? Her lawyer says that there's a lot they still don't know.
This is a case where the homeowner, being a Boston police officer, was treated differently than he would have been if he were you or me.
Reed is due back in court January 5th for a pretrial hearing. And
I mean, that was the understatement of the year. Like, yeah, okay. It was absolutely accurate. The fact that Brian Albert was treated differently because he was a Boston police officer and it was his house. Absolutely. That absolutely totally happened. But I mean, like, I would have loved to hear him elaborate on that because I can. I mean, let's see. Everyone in the house basically slept through all of the commotion in the front yard, right? Nobody was woken up. At least I know Nicole Albert wasn't, according to her statement. I mean, I call bullshit on that, but she says that she wasn't, that she slept all through everything. Didn't hear about John being dead until, she woke up. Oh man, this is hold on a second. This has got to have this on.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad. I think.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel. You said that thanks for all you're doing. A morale check in was a great idea tonight. I don't know if that I felt it necessary. I'll explain why as we get going with this, but thank you, Nathaniel. Yeah. And it's we gotta. Let me just continue with the Court TV video here before I get into that.
Of course, Court TV will be there covering that for you. Still with us, we have criminal defense attorneys Lori McMurray and Eklund Mercy. Lori, let me start with you, please. This Turtle Boy, he keeps coming up. We know there was witness tampering that he was charged.
Okay. Mana, thank you so much. Unreliable witness. 100% facts. Agreed. All of those witnesses are unreliable. Like, they're all lying. It's clear.
Charged with, the grand jury returned even more charges against him, and now this separate domestic incident he's been charged with. And I question the motive or why he's so passionately involved defending Karen Reed in this case.
Man, that's a real nutcracker, isn't it? Huh. I wonder why. I wonder why. What's the motive behind Aiden Kearney, even though it's Carney, being so motivated? Why is he so motivated? Why is he so, why is he so passionate about this case? Why is he relentless about it? I don't know. Because it's funny, it doesn't occur to these people that maybe he's a good person who sees that another good person is being railroaded by people that she should be that she should be able to trust. People who are charged with the responsibility of getting her boyfriend justice, who is a Boston police officer, or was before his untimely demise. So, I mean, I don't understand how that's difficult. This doesn't ever enter anyone's mind here, any of the critics, because maybe they're incapable. Maybe these are people who lack integrity. The people who go, I have to wonder I have to wonder why he's doing this. Well, and the other quick answer is money. People love to say money. Well, yeah. I've heard Turtle Boy 100 times go, yeah, I make money off this. It's what I do. I quit my job teaching so that I could blog full time. And if I'm covering a story and I'm providing people with information and they want to pay me for it, cool. I mean, I don't see what the problem is with that. But to just say because he's making money that's some sort of indication that what he's doing is ingenuine and that it's somehow nefarious in some way, that's ridiculous. I mean, does every single person at McDonald's who makes your burger, do they spit in it every time? Is that the majority? Do they drop your food on the floor and serve it to you? Every single person that serves you food, every single person that's ever served you food? Because that to me is the same thing as just assuming that the only reason somebody would be so passionate about something is to spin the craziest stories, and then it's because the crazier the story, the more money you make. That means he's coming from an ugly, shitty place. Means he's too lazy to look for the truth. That makes no sense either. Because you could absolutely make plenty of money, saying that Karen Reed is guilty. Let's go by this logic, okay? Everybody is calling him. You got idiots like Coffindoffer on Twitter, and then some other idiot that I took a screenshot of and posted on Twitter. And a lot of you guys know her. Her name escapes me, but a lot of you guys know her, and you're saying that she's a vicious troll. She's one of the worst, terrible, absolutely horrible. And so is it Julie Carpenter? Yeah, that sounds familiar. So Julie Carpenter, right? I mean, all of these people are going to tell you that he is a cult leader, right? That Turtle Boy is a cult leader. Because the thing is the truth always pays more than the lie. It always does. Because the truth, I mean, the truth is indisputable. So it's just more it's more lucrative to reveal the truth, because then you go on as a credible journalist. That's why journalists most of the time report things credibly. I'm talking about independent journalists, because all they have is their name to build off of. Now, somebody who's already famous and working for a huge news conglomerate, they could say bullshit because their producers told them to say it, and their name's already out there, and their name is already making the station money. And so they pay that news person with a big name a whole lot of money to say whatever they want her or him to say. This is just how it works. But an independent journalist does not have that luxury. So an independent journalist has to rely on the truth, because the truth provides that independent journalist's name with credibility. And that is what's going to keep people watching. That's going to keep people reading the truth, because people want the truth, and they're going to come back for the truth. Because anybody who puts out a blatant lie that could easily be disproven, who does not have the luxury of a very large news conglomerate behind them, they have to rely on the credibility of their name to be able to succeed. So it's stupid of him to lie. It's bad for business. It doesn't make sense. So I mean, another point. Well, let me just play. I decide things on the fly here, and let me just go on with the video here before I continue to make some points, because I'll rant about that shit all day.
I think we can all question that motive, but he reminds me of like the First Amendment auditors, where he's going out there and he gets a little bit of attention and he tries really hard to maintain that same level of attention. And he got a little bit overzealous. He got some attention. He was on Court TV one night when I was on with Benny Politan. So he got the attention. He was doing some good work, but then it just didn't become enough for him. He kept pushing and really either truly believes in her innocence or truly believes in the fame and the notoriety that comes along with being in the position that he was in. And he just got carried away with it and took it a little too far.
He really hasn't shied away from being a controversial figure when it comes to this quest that many people have joined to say that this charge against.
Okay, I mean, you know, like, that's her opinion. You know what I mean? That's her opinion. I'm not going to really fault her for that. I think it's a bit ignorant. I don't think that she's really looked into everything. I suspect that. I think that if she had, she would say, look, I watched this guy's videos carefully. I watched everything that this guy's done. If you look at this video, he did this. If you look at that video, he's done that. They never do this. Her point of credibility, that what she wanted to direct you to make her seem credible to you, was the fact that she was on the panel with him, with Vinny, at one point. So that all of a sudden has, you know, oh, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, my friend. See, what we don't do is resort to things like this. As long as they keep doing things like this, and as long as we don't do anything like that, guess who's going to come out more credible? Because when it comes to knowing the truth, you don't need to resort to bullshit like this. You never do. That's the beauty of it. That's the fun of being right. How does that feel, Aiden's blown out hoop? The fact that you have to come in here and give threats. What does that say about what narrative you're trying to push? What does that say about you? So yeah, keep them coming. Keep the threats coming. I'm a big fan, because we don't do that over here, because we have the truth on our side. And anybody with common sense who's an outsider looking in is going to see that. So keep them coming. Brittany Autumn, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Karen Reed is in just now. As you mentioned, Lori, he's been on Court TV before. We have a clip of him responding to those witness tampering charges that relate to the murder trial. So separate from the new domestic violence charges that are reportedly against him now. But let's take a listen back to what he had to say about why he was being scrutinized for the witness tampering.
Thank you.
Every morning I film myself at the bus stop. I live stream myself at the bus stop, because if the police are going to pick me up again, which they probably will, there's talk about indictment. They're probably going to do it in front of the kids because they want maximum shock effect. They want to basically demoralize you and make it so that you don't want to continue. But so I film it every day just in case they do show up this time. Last time they caught me unprepared. This time I won't be. So getting by.
Eklund, he says that he's the one who is being targeted because he is coming against prosecutors and police.
How is there any question at this point that he's being targeted? That's what blows my mind. Like, how is there any question that he's being targeted? Like, it's insane to me. Pushing someone on a couch, and you're going to tell me this person says, this so-called witness and victim, the latest, right, says on a recording that she's been trying to get him over there for weeks. But this isn't supposed to be suspicious. The one time she finally gets him over there, they have a verbal altercation. And I say that because that's all we have proof of. They have a verbal altercation. I wouldn't even call it that. I'd call it an attack from her. She was the only one yelling. She was the only one consistently throwing insults. She was the one threatening her own children. And he was the only one trying to leave. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me that people just want to see something like this be too far-fetched to believe, because it seems so far-fetched that it's difficult to believe. If somebody just told me this stuff, I wouldn't believe them. I mean, I'm not going to lie. If somebody just out of nowhere just told me this stuff, some rando just told me the stuff that's happening here, I would be like, you're out of your mind. Okay. I would be like, wow, really? And I'd like pretend to be interested. Like, wow, really? And in my mind, I'd be thinking this person's completely fucking nuts. Because it sounds absolutely crazy. It totally does. But the thing is we've seen evidence of it. We've been tracking the evidence of it in real time. This is the interesting thing about Turtle Boy. The difference between what's happening to Turtle Boy and what's happening to Karen Reed is we didn't see it in real time. We had to rely on witness statements, police reports, and we had to rely on data. But which is very reliable. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is we didn't have the luxury. We didn't have the luxury of following it in real time. Everything that has been happening to Turtle Boy, we are all witnesses of it. We all watched it fucking happen. I jumped on this just in time to see it all happening. I think it was like 2 days after, either the next day or the day after that, after Turtle Boy was on this channel, he got arrested the first time. Jackie Jade, welcome. Thank you so much. Christine Ladarola, feels like the Twilight Zone. It totally feels like the Twilight Zone. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that, Christine. Turtle Boy's clapped cheeks. Help me, Will. Sure. Give me another $5 and I'll ask you how I can help you. And then after that, give me another $5 and then we'll see where we are from there. And then we can work out a payment plan of my help for you. Okay. All right. I love it. We look at this. We're starting a relationship, you and I, Turtle Boy's clap cheeks. We're starting a relationship. So just keep the super chats coming and I'll keep the help coming, buddy. I promise. Okay? We're here to help each other. I love it. See how this community comes together? You see how we're able to turn lemons into lemonade here at the Glare, folks? This is what we do. Okay? This is what we do.
Police and these charges on behalf of Karen Reed. Your thoughts?
No, men with podcasts. I think that I've seen it often. It's like you have, just a little justified. You feel justified, and it takes you on a road. Fame is a hell of a drug, and once you get a little bit of taste of it, it just takes you to wherever. And
So far, 7 minutes into this 10-minute video. So far, the narrative is that Turtle Boy just fucking lost it. He just went off the rails, right? He got so drunk with fame, he just got so involved with himself and so drunk with power over the people that he just went crazy and then, pushed a woman into a couch. I mean, most people who go nuts, you know what I mean? They start smoking crack. They start,
They kill hookers. They do shit like that. You know what I mean? When they get too famous, they start drugging women and their drinks. You know what I mean? People come out of the woodwork, say that you gave them pills and oral sex at your amusement park when they were kids. This is usually the stuff that happens when you become famous, but not Turtle Boy. What happens to Turtle Boy when he gets famous is he pushes a woman into a couch. I mean, wow. That's fucking riveting, dude. That's lock this dude up. 90 days. No question. I don't need the proof. I don't care what proof you have that disputes this woman's claims. He's getting locked up. We have a zero tolerance couch pushing policy. Zero tolerance couch pushing laws here in the state of Massachusetts.
You know, he just needs a few therapy sessions. I think that it's great that it happened before trial, that he's been, I think that putting him on ice is definitely necessary so that Miss Reed can have a proper trial. But it happens often. It sucks, but it happens.
So, How is she, dude? Clever. I love you, buddy. But hold on a second. Here, Marie Rose just super chatted you $10 because it's your show, buddy. I love you too. Thank you, Marie Rose. So yeah, so she says putting him on ice. I love that choice of words. So that Karen Reed can have a what is it? What kind of trial did she say? Hold on a second. Let me.
Putting him on ice is definitely necessary so that Miss Reed can have a proper trial. But it happens often. It sucks.
So since when? Let's blame the people, huh? Let's do that, lady on court TV. Let's blame the people who assembled outside of the courthouse during Casey Anthony's trial for her being let off, right? I mean, she couldn't have a proper trial, right? Casey Anthony didn't have a proper trial. And was that because there was people assembling outside? Did OJ not have a proper trial because people were assembled outside the courthouse? I mean, I'm curious as to your logic behind that statement. Clever. Okay, I'm going to need you to chew on something a little less noisy, my friend. Okay? Can I have that, please? Okay, no, not you. The water bottle, bro. I know that's what you jumped on the table to get, too. Not to give me love, Judas. Unreal. Elaine, thank you so much. The Glare, you're the best dad for Clubber. Thanks for covering this. Continued coverage is important for everyone. I agree. And again, wow, thank you. You're the best. Oh, you sent 2 of those. You know that, right? Yeah, but thank you. Appreciate it. Hold on 1 second, folks.
Sucks, but it happens often.
And I think that description fits what a lot of viewers have thought as well as they're watching. But back to the Karen Reed part, Lori, and the fact that so many believe she's innocent and this is a cover-up by the Boston Police Department. This is one in which I see that evidence could go either way, not having seen all of the evidence yet. What do you think? Do you think she has a pretty good case to say, it wasn't me, I'm going to point the finger, it's a cover-up?
Listen, I did a deep dive on this case whenever I was making a video about it, and it led me to Turtle Boy.
I mean, see what I mean? See what I mean? This lady fucking admits it, dude. Yo, she just admitted. Okay, I didn't do a deep dive into the evidence in this case because the issue, what the subject at hand right now in this conversation is the evidence. The one lady says the evidence says it could go either way. Her response to that statement is, well, I haven't done a deep dive into this case, but me starting to look into it led me to Turtle Boy, straight to Turtle Boy. So she admits that basically she did exactly what all the other ignorant fucking assholes on YouTube have been doing, right? Beat him. Yeah, buddy. Just saying. Because I know they're going to clip this and talk about it forever. You're welcome for that, by the way. But that's just one example. One idiot that hasn't done any research on this case whatsoever. You can tell. Looking at YouTube videos doesn't count. Watching court TV clips and watching law and crime clips don't count. Okay? Looking at documents, witness statements, police reports, knowing every name that's involved in this case, who the witnesses are, all of that stuff is very important. Lisa Ox, thank you so much. New to this. Well, welcome. Leah Baker, thank you so much. FYI, on this panel, lawyer Lori Murray is equivalent to Coffendorfer. Thank you. Yeah. But at least Coffendorfer is smart enough to lie. You know what I mean? This lady is straight up admitting, you know what? I don't even really know shit about the case. I'm just talking. I just looked into Turtle Boy. You know, I don't know shit. And I'd be satisfied. I'd be satisfied if Coffendorfer just fucking admitted that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're just obsessed with Turtle Boy. You're not giving, you looked into a couple of things here and there when it came to the case, but you really don't know shit. Jamie gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Who got gifted memberships? Cherry got gifted a membership. That was a waste. Meep, Heather Taylor, Tammy Holcomb. I'm so glad Tammy Holcomb got a membership. Right on. Gregor Smith. No, Gregor Smith did not get one. Okay, no, that's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Jamie. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, this lady straight up just admits that she hasn't looked into this case. Everybody that's talking about this case on mainstream media hasn't even fucking done their due diligence in getting and understanding what is going on. Thank you, Heather, for the Cash App. I appreciate that. If I missed any like Cash Apps, Venmos, or PayPals, I'm sorry. It just so happens that the notification caught my eye and I was able to catch it when I do give those shout outs. So thank you so much. And then I get so overwhelmed at the end of the stream with getting off of here and getting to do what I have to do afterwards that, dude, stop chewing that stuff up. That I forget to give like all the shout outs, but they are all appreciated. Thank you so much. Now, I mean, James Forbes, I'm not going to get in. Yeah, I'm not going to say all that, man. I don't believe that. Some women looking for revenge on men and men. I don't know. All I know is I think it's just people who like being on TV. That's it. I think it's just people who like being on TV. I think it just boils down to that. I think it's really funny how these vain people who know jack shit about anything but are on TV like they're experts in something, talking about they think that the reason why Turtle Boy went off the rails, which he never really did, they're saying that it's because he became fame drunk. Okay. Welcome, Jamie. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that they're going to relate. I mean, that's the only explanation they can come up with.
That's where I got a lot of my information. So I think anybody who is following this case and trying to read up on what the allegations of police misconduct are will lead you to him. But the problem is that we're taking those allegations that he makes, and we're reading those, and we're not looking at the state side because the state doesn't have a blogger. He's outside.
Dude. Darcy Miller, thank you so much. I don't like that mainstream only looks at a few things and then it's Turtle Boy that is the problem. I'm glad you said that because that actually brings me to my next point that I was just going to make, because she's actually talking about that right now. And thank you so much for that, Darcy. So she's saying, well, here we are. Kim Curran, thank you so much. Thank you, Blair, for all you're doing. You will always have friends in Massachusetts. Thank you so much. That means a lot. This is very funny to me because she's like, well, the prosecution doesn't have a blogger, you know, like basically that statement. First of all, it implies that Karen Reed is employing Turtle Boy in some way, which is just not true. Turtle Boy has emphatically denied this. He's denied even talking to her, really, that I know of. I think he said something about one time where he may have messaged her. I don't really know the details, but he's not in contact with her, basically, is what he has been very, very adamant about saying. So I that's just plain not true. Now, she didn't outright say that, but she definitely implied it. Well, no, maybe not. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she is just saying that that the prosecution doesn't have a blogger that believes the prosecution. But the thing is the prosecution has plenty of people that believe them. The prosecution has Jennifer Coffendorfer. So right there, this lady doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Because if there's anybody who gets more attention than Turtle Boy, it would be Jennifer Coffendorfer. And anybody who is an anchor on whether it be a news source or a tabloid news source, these people have more exposure than Turtle Boy. So you have Turtle Boy, who's one, and then you have all of these other people who are spinning a narrative that Karen Reed is guilty. Even though they're experts, and these are people who are either former law enforcement or attorneys or professors in law, yet it's very easy for them to spin the narrative that somebody is guilty before any proof is presented in court, that their whole innocent until proven guilty status goes right out the window. I find that very interesting. People who have worked in and around and with the law their entire careers and are on TV because of it are dismissing the entire concept of innocent until proven guilty, excuse me. I find that very interesting. So this lady doesn't know what she's talking about. If this lady is sitting here saying, well, you know, the prosecution doesn't have a blogger speaking up on their side. No, they have a bunch of mindless idiots that are on the very show regularly that you're on right now, tweeting nonsense 24/7.
Outside the courtroom rallying troops. He's been there with his megaphone. You see him there in that photo, rallying them up, asking for chance for Karen Reed. And it's a great support system for her. But now we get to focus on what the law actually is. And we get to focus on having a just trial, which she should want just as much as the state should want. That's all any attorney.
How can you have a just trial when you're innocent? How can you have a just trial that is based on an unjust investigation? Now, let's just say she's guilty. Okay? I like to play devil's advocate. Folks, this pisses people off sometimes. Those of you who are that adamant and convinced that Karen Reed is innocent, fair enough. Carrie Black, LG is a snake devil. Thank you so much, Carrie Black. Let's just say, and I've said this before many times, let's just say that Karen Reed is guilty. The fact that that investigation was conducted in the way that it was cost John O'Keefe justice. There's no denying that. There's no way around this. The prosecution and these cops, the Massachusetts State Police Department, they can absolutely try and pretend like that's not a thing and just kind of, dismiss it, right? But the fact of the matter is whether Karen Read is innocent or guilty, their investigation cost John O'Keefe justice. There is no denying that indisputable fact. The reason being because any halfway decent fucking fresh out of law school, green as a goddamn fern lawyer, public defender can present how that case was investigated and get the case thrown out. There's no way, based on the evidence of how that investigation was conducted, that you're going to get 12 jurors to convict that woman. There's no way. It can't be done. It is not. That is why we have 12 jurors, to ensure that somebody's going to catch an inconsistency, that somebody's going to catch something wrong. Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate, James Forbes. Let's just say there is no cover-up. Let's say there's no cover-up. The fact that the prosecution has lost evidence, tried to keep evidence from discovery so that the defense can actually look it over. I mean, they lost the DNA from the body. They had John O'Keefe's clothes all over the floor. That absolutely contaminates evidence. Like I said, a first-year law student planning to be a public defender in fucking Mayberry can go in front of a jury and go, there's no way, based on how this case was investigated, that you can convict this woman. This was the Massachusetts State Police, or the Boston Police Department's, the Massachusetts State Police, it was their responsibility to get John O'Keefe justice, and they failed based on their investigations. I mean, there's just no denying this. So this whole concept and this whole notion of Karen Read getting a fair, a just trial being denied of her because people are assembling, because Turtle Boy is not in jail. So now that Turtle Boy's in jail, she can now have a just trial? That's asinine. That doesn't make any sense. That has nothing to do with anything. Because he's standing outside the courthouse, he's not disturbing the courtroom in any way, shape, or form. He's not in the courtroom yelling and screaming, hitting an air horn. Twah, twah. He's not doing that in the courtroom. He's not even doing that outside. He's talking through a bullhorn. And people are chanting. But this doesn't disturb the trial in any way, shape, or form. That's why it's called a peaceful protest. That's why people have the right to assemble. And to sit here and say and imply that people doing this is somehow the reason why Karen Read would not get a fair and just trial is just plain manipulation. It's a tactic. It's a tactic to get idiots who watch this show and just agree with every person on there claiming to be an expert blindly to get on your case for assembling and peacefully protesting the fact that Karen Read is being railroaded.
Whether your state or defense should want is a just and fair trial. And having that circus outside the courtroom.
What do you think the circus is for, lady? What do you think the circus is for? I mean, if you need a hint, just look for the signs that say justice for John O'Keefe. Because that's what the circus is for. Just a hint. It's just a hint.
Is a little bit showing a little bit of bias, and definitely would be some pretrial publicity that would maybe hurt or hinder a fair trial.
We absolutely don't want to get in the way of a fair trial. There have been some scrutiny of Turtle Boy for making comments when the family of this murdered cop go into the courtroom and go into the courthouse. So definitely don't want a circus, just like Lawyer Lori is saying. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but it's almost like we have two different trials going on right now.
I agree. And at the end of the day, it's about the victim.
Well,
so regardless of who you think.
You do have two different trials going on right now. You wouldn't have two different trials going on right now if the Norfolk County DA's office didn't railroad Turtle Boy and try to shut him up by robbing him of his basic freedoms. I mean, now I understand the argument is, well, if he hadn't done what he had done, what did he do? Exercise his First Amendment rights? I mean, he did. That's exactly what he did. We've gone over it and over it and over it. I mean, his attorney is absolutely and totally convinced that he can absolutely prove this. I mean, Cherry has, you guys have noticed, she's been indisposed for the last couple of days, but she's here now. And so we were catching up on the last couple of days and what's been going on earlier today. And I explained to her, I was like, yeah, they arrested one of Tim Bradle's private investigators for witness intimidation because he knocked on a witness's door to ask them questions, and he was arrested. And then she's like, wait a minute. It was the most natural reaction that you could think of. She goes, wait a minute. Well, what did he do? And I was like, well, he knocked on the door and asked a witness questions. Well, isn't that what he's supposed to do? How can they arrest him for doing his job? That was her reaction. It was her very natural reaction. Clubber, I have like 1,000 toys out here for you, and you just keep grabbing shit out of where everything is stored that you're not supposed to chew on and chewing on it. Whatever. It's fine. It's good.
Think did it. There's no reason to talk smack or do anything else negative about the victim or the victim's family.
The thing is, I real quick, the cops kind of started it. Remember in the first couple of hearings?
Somebody here is, let's see what she says here.
There were police officers like suffocating that, suffocating Miss Reed, and they looked angry and they needed to be backed off. People needed, she needed security away from police officers. So I believe that if we have a demonstration outside, it's direct in response to how officers acted in the preliminary stages of this case.
And this is why it's going to be such a great trial, because of the passionate both sides of this case that you all have just described.
You see what I mean? This is why it's going to be a great trial. Ooh, be sure to tune in. I mean, Thank you, Darcy Miller. Appreciate it. Big ups, Clubber. Thank you, Grandmaster Sophos. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, it's going to be such a great trial. I mean, it's so great that this woman is being tried with taxpayer money, with evidence that was either fabricated or lost and lied about, with witnesses who are just liars, and it's proven that they're liars, with a DA who's lying about how the investigation took place. Oh my God, this is going to be such a great trial, Court TV. Just as excited as you are. I mean, are you fucking people serious? It's going to be great. These people don't give a fuck about justice. I told you. These people don't give a fuck about justice. These people give a fuck about the drama. Ooh, with both sides? I mean, with both sides feeling so passionate about this, I mean, this is going to be a great trial. It's not a fucking football game. A woman's life is on the goddamn line, lady. A police officer's memory and justice for it is on the line. The fuck are you talking about? Like, that's, you know, you're telling me nothing, but you're telling me everything. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not sure exactly which side I want to be on here. You know, the evidence is pretty compelling both ways, blah, blah, blah. And then you say some shit like, this is going to be a great trial. Both sides are so passionate. Can't wait to see the fireworks. I mean, she didn't say that, but she might as well have. Right. There shouldn't even be a trial. Like, there shouldn't even be a fucking trial. It's insane that that's telling in and of itself that the prosecution is moving forward with this despite everything that's already been covered up. And their response to all this, despite of everything that's been uncovered, but their response to this is to lock up the guy who made the information available. And start just locking everybody up. Now, the young jerks, Mike, is freaking out. Can't blame him. But now Mike from Young Jerks is freaking out. Moxierella77, thank you so much. He's saying that he's going to step back. And he's local. Why are the local people scared? It's not a question of what, you know, don't think of it in the context of they shouldn't be scared. And I'm sitting here going, why the fuck are they scared? What are they scared? That's bullshit. That's not the context in which I mean that. The context in which I mean that is, why are they scared? Why would they be scared to speak in their own home about, bro, seriously? Why do you have to pick the noisiest shit to chew on, dude? Give me 1 second, guys. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for people to sit here and go, fuck around, find out. For what? For what? Fuck around and find out. How is fucking around simply, and how does that not sound threatening? You know, like, how is it fucking around and finding out for simply exercising your First Amendment right to your opinions, even if there's no facts behind the shit? It's his opinions. This dude can absolutely blog and scream and yell on a public sidewalk anything he wants. I mean, you got this dickhead, Mike Giannetti, who is screaming on the court steps total untruths about Turtle Boy, probably has crack on him. He's definitely under the influence of it. And he doesn't get arrested. I mean, because he has the right to do it. That's the truth. He has the right to do it. Mike Giannetti has the right to stand in front of that courthouse and sound as cracky as crack can be. And nobody should be able to arrest him. I would be up here fighting for his right to do what he's doing. Because it's more fun to just, to do what Tom was doing and the other guy, I forget his name, and just make fun of him. Just troll him. Exercise your First Amendment right to debate with the guy, even if it's just for fun. That's the kind of world I want to live in, where I could say whatever the fuck I want, and then somebody can have a problem with it, and then tell me what their problem is with it, and I can either tell them to fuck off or engage in a conversation with them, as long as it remains peaceful, without somebody exercising some form of authority over me, telling me that I have to shut up. I'd rather have that person in my face arguing with me than somebody in a position of authority telling me that I can't say what I'm saying. And I would defend that guy. I'd be like, hey, I'm having a fucking conversation here. Don't you see this guy's on crack? I don't care that he's on crack. That's my decision if I want to talk to a fucking crackhead. The fuck, who are you? That's the world I want to live in. That's the country I'm supposed to be living in right now. But I'm not. Why is that? That's the question we should be asking. I'm not living in that country right now. I should be. On paper, it says I am. But in reality, I'm definitely not. You know how I know? Because Turtle Boy's in jail. You know how I know? Because the Canton Nine are awaiting trial. You know how I know? Because Karen Reed is sitting in jail right now. And anybody speaking up for her, and anybody even investigating for the truth, is being threatened. Because if Tim Bradle's private investigator can get arrested for intimidating witnesses by doing his job, well, then guess what? That means any of you can get arrested for the same thing. Under apparently no grounds, no evidence, you can absolutely get charged with a felony. Apparently. No wonder the locals are getting scared. And I can't sit here and tell you guys what to do. I don't live there. I'm an outsider. I don't have it's just simply not my place to sit here and try to tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I feel like if you feel passionate about something, you shouldn't have to feel afraid to express your passion. I don't believe that you should have to feel afraid to do that. But that doesn't change the fact that many already do. Because at this point, it's not a question of how you should or shouldn't feel. It's a question of how you feel and how you don't. If you feel scared living in your own town, doing what you have the God-given right to do, then it becomes your choice of how you choose to do it. And all of us have to respect that. All of us have to respect anybody who sees, who falls subject to the fear that is being instilled by the Norfolk County DA's office to all of you who live there locally. You should absolutely, you have every right to react to this however you do. And anybody online too, you know, wherever you live. I'm not scared. I'll tell you that, but I can't expect anybody else not to be. I'm me, and anybody else is anybody else. See, I'm the kind of guy that I get a high from feeling like shit's about to get hairy. And I don't mean hairy like it's going to get violent or anything like that. I mean, shit's about to pop off and buzz, you know? I get excited about that. I get excited about pissing the right people off. I get excited about being just and then pissing certain people off about it. As soon as that radar goes off in me where I see somebody is pissed off about something that they have no business being pissed off about, then I get excited. I get a high from it. Anybody who's followed me for a long time knows this about me. I mean, it was really funny. Like, I just see this stuff happening. I see this in these hate channels, you know, where the more you make sense. Thank you, David. I appreciate the Venmo. The more you make sense and the more people are starting to engage and people are starting to get inspired and see that you're doing something that you can actually be proud of, well, then the people who have no concept of this are only going to lash out and throw hissy fits. And then they're going to gloat when something that isn't even really that much of an effect is happening. I mean, Turtle Boy going to jail. This is the thing. Turtle Boy going to jail, it was a hell of a blow to morale, man. It really was. I admit that. I mean, I was upset about it. I'm still upset about it, you know. And all of you, most of you, are upset about it. And here's the thing. Now, I don't consider the Massachusetts State Police to be an enemy. I don't consider Norfolk County District Attorney to be an enemy necessarily, but they are agents of mistruth. They are agents of injustice right now. People who wear that badge, people who have that on their paychecks, they are part of a system. And they are agents of injustice right now. And that's a fact. And these agents of injustice, what they are doing is classic Sun Tzu shit. Anybody ever read Sun Tzu? It's classic Sun Tzu shit, dude. Like, if you break down morale, if morale is weak in your enemy, because make no mistake, these agents of injustice and mistruths, these agents of injustice, they see you as an enemy. Absolutely 100%. They have no qualms with locking you up to keep you quiet. That makes them agents of injustice. And they see you as an enemy. And they are systematically quieting people. This is a systematic effort. Make no mistake about this. Because if they're arresting people with the same charge, if there is a rash of arrests of people with the same charge who have no criminal history at all are not known as troublemakers. Dude, come on, bro. This is what I scoop my coffee with, dude. I used to scoop my coffee with this. So now these people, I'm not saying everyone who works for Norfolk County DA's office. I'm not saying every Massachusetts state trooper, but I'm saying the people who seem to be directly responsible for these efforts in shutting you up one by one. Because there is a pattern here, is there not? There is a clear pattern of people being charged with felonies for simply asking questions and revealing the truth. Or just standing there and wearing a t-shirt and holding up a sign. So the fact that they see you as an enemy and there is a system doing this, well, then you have to think of things like a warrior, right? Peaceful one at that. Be very clear about that. A peaceful one, a peaceful warrior. But how do you make your enemies weaker? There's one method, divide. You divide and conquer. I believe America right now is in the divide stages. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think this country right now is in the divide stages. And then there is morale. If morale is weak in your enemy, then your enemy is weak. If morale in your enemy is weak, then your enemy is weak. And if everyone is too scared to simply keep doing what they're doing, well then, A, they win. There'll be nobody demanding justice for Karen Read, only Karen Read, and she's expected to because she's sitting there on trial with her hands cuffed and not being able to do anything. And I mean metaphorically, of course, literally, because she is, being charged, but metaphorically, she is sitting there and people expect her to say what she's saying. What they're not expecting is for a very large mass of people, local people, to demand justice, which is what's been happening, which is what's gotten so much attention on this case. But if that goes away, especially before this trial starts, if that goes away, then Karen Read and anybody in her position and anybody who gets arrested in the future who falls victim to the very same people operating with impunity to cover up crimes, to plant evidence or anything else, well, then they're just going to continue operating with impunity. It's just going to keep happening. And that means that it could be any one of you at any point, any one of you. And if you're even if you're not local, because I'm invested in this because the way that I see it, I'm an American. This is happening in America. This is not some other country. It's Massachusetts. It's still America, last I checked. Still the home of the New England Patriots. Patriots. Scott McGinnis, thank you so much, buddy. Just wanted to hear the song. You got it.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
There you go, Scott McGinnis. Thank you, buddy. So, I mean, this is if this all of a sudden just stops now because everyone's scared, their efforts won, and B, Turtle Boy is sitting in jail for nothing. The Canton Nine are facing charges with no support and are just going to have their rights stripped from them as well. And then guess what? That entire town is going to have to live in fear of this happening to them at any given time, at any point. Because now I venture to say that the toothpaste is out of the tube and you can't put it back in. I mean, so now your eyes have been opened. Everybody who lives there is already privy to how the system works in Canton, Massachusetts. Everyone there, they're privy to it. They understand it. They know it. They've seen it. They have fell victim to it. This is not about Turtle Boy anymore. This is about you. And this is about every American. Because if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. And it's crazy to me that people are trying to blow this off like it's not a real thing. It's absolutely a real thing. And you should take it seriously. And you don't take, I mean, the fear of being able to say whatever you want, that doesn't fucking scare the shit out of you. Like that being taken away, that doesn't scare the shit out of you. It frightens the hell out of me. I love being able to say whatever the fuck I want, dude. Like, that should scare everyone. You should be willing to fight for it. You know? And I meant everything that I've been saying, you know? But the thing is I mean, here's the thing is I live in Tennessee. You know, I'm never going to shut up. I'll explain why. See, I can gloat about this. I can brag. Okay? Because nothing's going to happen to me here. Because if something happens to me here, there's clearly a pattern. There's clearly corruption. There's clearly a conspiracy to shut people up. Because if something actually happens to me, that's only going to bring more attention on this corruption. Because if it happens in Boston, you know, okay, well, these people are out there and they're actually speaking up and showing up places and blah, blah, blah. And then we can trump up some bullshit charge and charge them and say that they were intimidating a witness because they were there in person. But me, I mean, I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here in my studio talking about this. And I just, you know, people love to say that Turtle Boy is they'll say, man, it was so stupid of him. You know, it's so stupid of him to do this and to do that. I mean, it's not, you know, like, I mean, maybe, but you don't get to say that, say how stupid he is out of one side of your mouth. And then on the other side of your mouth, say that he's this genius cult leader who manipulated an entire fucking state. Makes no sense. Yeah, and you can't sit here and say that. Sorry, I'm looking at chat real quick. No, and it's not my place to tell you guys what to do. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation. I'm saying as a spectator, think of me. You guys are the football team and I'm the fan. You know what I mean? You guys are the football team and I'm the fan. And I'm sitting here going, well, you know what? If the defense does this and the fucking offense starts to do that, then you've got yourself a team effective, and you've got a certain, you've got a predictable outcome of this game if these things happen. That's the reality of the situation. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. It's not my place to tell Massachusetts locals what to do. What I'm saying, though, is the fact is if all of a sudden everyone gets too scared to actually assemble the way that they already have been, peacefully, respectfully, conduct yourselves like as Rita as the main example. Conduct yourselves the way Rita does. And if you conduct yourselves the way Rita does, you're golden. You did nothing wrong. And if you're too scared to do that, that's fair. I understand that. But there's nothing morally wrong with it. There's no fear of your soul being burned up. There's fear of being persecuted unjustly. And that's it. What you're afraid of is being persecuted unjustly, of being locked up unjustly, to have your life fucked with unjustly. That is what you're afraid of. It's not a question of doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. Doing what you are, what you are, your God-given right, what is your God-given right to do, because you feel strongly about something. There's nothing morally wrong with that. And nobody should ever be able to tell you what's wrong with that. So, I mean, but again, I mean, I'm doing this from Tennessee. I'm safe, because the thing is there's no way to lie. If anything were to happen to me, if I were to get locked up, like you fucking know there's some bullshit there. They're trying to shut people up. And this is what they're afraid of happening. They're afraid of more people like me popping up. They're afraid of national news jumping on the narrative that Karen Read is innocent. They're afraid of YouTubers located all over the world with bigger platforms than I do showing the evidence that dictates that Karen Read, that the very least the investigation was conducted horribly, and she should not even be on trial. Any thoughts, sending portion of donos related to Karen Read, Turtle Boy Canton 9 Fund? What Cherry has been doing, I don't know if she's been doing it today. She should, hopefully, is sharing the link for the Canton 9 Fund. I think Karen Read, I mean, most of you guys already know how to donate to that. And you can absolutely do that. And Karen would, or Cherry will absolutely, like I said here, we always drop the link here so that you have the option. Absolutely 100%. So, but yeah, I mean, I've donated to it myself, but no, I'm not, at least right now, I'm not to a point where I'm going to start, giving a percentage of what I generate on this channel to, a fundraiser or whatnot. I've had bad experiences with that in the past and certain things of that nature. And, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But, I'm more than happy to, like I said, drop links here in the chat. I will even start sharing them in the description. But yeah, if you put me as a middleman, to do that, it tends to cause problems. So I'd rather provide you with the links to where you have the freedom to absolutely do that, and 100% of your donations are going to go to those causes. So yeah, putting me as a middleman and all that, I just don't want those problems later if there's some sort of discrepancy because I was bad with math or something to that effect. I've had those problems in the past, and I'd just rather not do it. So right. Thank you. Yeah, this has happened. I've been on this platform for 5 years, and I try to avoid that as much as I can. But again, you guys know where to donate, and Cherry will provide the links to do so in the chat, and you absolutely have the option. And if you donate to this channel, it's simply because you want to show support to the channel, and I'm more than grateful for that, and I do appreciate it. No, I get it, Leah Baker. Absolutely, I get it, and I know that Young Jerks was doing that, and I commend them for doing it. But they're better than me. Put it that way. They're better than me. I that responsibility in the past has caused me problems, and I just prefer to avoid it. Darcy Miller, thank you for Cherry feeling intimidated. Oh my God. But yeah. So yeah, where I'm at this point, man. And trust me, what I would really like to do, I'm hearing a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I'm hearing a rumor about the January 5th Karen Reed hearing being pushed back, there was a motion filed for a continuance, allegedly. I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly there's a continuance filed, and I don't know when it's going to take place. I don't know if that's actually true, but I don't know when it's going to be pushed, if it is true. But that's good for me, because I would like to. I'm not making any promises, but I would like to be able to go to Boston and stand side by side with those of you, because I find you guys to be extremely inspiring. I love to I would love to be around you guys in person and just feel that energy in person. I feel that energy just doing my channel, and it's mind blowing. But I could just imagine what it's like being around you guys and interacting with you guys. And I would really like to do that at some point. This is the first time I actually felt comfortable with the idea. Normally, like, with the idea comes to getting together with people that I see on a mass level on YouTube. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that shit. You got me fucked up. But you guys seem amazing. And you know, even though I know I'm going to get there and there are going to be people who want me killed, I know I'm going to be around people who are going to welcome me there as well. So I'm yeah. Right. And I hope people see it that way too. Because I want the channel to grow. You know, and it's not, you know, just because, you know, I mean, any YouTuber wants their channel to grow, of course. But I like the idea of, this is why I believe in Turtle Boy so much, because I like the idea of doing what I love to do, you know, and being involved in something that I feel so passionate about makes me feel worthwhile. And I am very passionate about this case. And so my channel growing in the last I guess the last month or so, just doing nothing different than what I normally do, you know, just taking on a new case and doing exactly what I do with any other case that I feel passionate about. It's incredibly rewarding. It's incredibly rewarding. So I'm really grateful for that. Janetti, bro. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see something real quick. I know she shared it with me. I just don't know where it is. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. I wanted to go over Mike's stuff. Okay. I may do that on another live. I may do that on another live. Give me 1 second real quick. Okay. I mean, I don't want to keep spreading that Turtle Boy will be out in a week. I mean, I know that if Bradel can make it happen, I think that Bradel is a great attorney. I think that Turtle Boy absolutely made the right choice in choosing him. Turtle Boy knew exactly where this was going to go and what this was an issue of, and he chose exactly the right attorney because this is absolutely a First Amendment issue. It's absolutely a First Amendment issue. So it's really important that we all take that very seriously. So, and yeah, positive thinking, that's great, sure. But I also don't want to sit there and just jump to the conclusion that he's getting out in a week because we don't know. I mean, one might expect the fact that since Bradel was able to present all of that evidence that proves that woman was lying, and then he still the judge still locked up Turtle Boy anyway. You saw Bradel's reaction. He was just like, what? Let me go ahead and show you guys this real quick.
This should be all over the country.
It's okay.
Journalism. He's only trying to free Karen Reed. That's what this is all about. And there's corruption in our state, in this judicial system. It's sick. It will come out. The truth will come out. Aiden Carney is not a bad individual. He has a rough mouth, whatever, but he's got a heart of gold. You don't know, get to know him. Listen, I'm telling you, this is the biggest case of corruption. This should be all over the country. This is what it should be. I can't believe our judicial system has failed us. The Commonwealth is a debacle. That Kenneth Mello is just disheveled, and I can't believe what's going on in our world.
What's your relationship to Aiden? Do you know?
I'm a turtle rider.
What's your
That's
first
what
last
I am.
name?
I'm,
Had an abortion and she put it on his driveway. I said what I said.
What's your first last name?
I'm Chrissy Young.
Can you spell for me?
I mean, that was just really funny. Like, I was in the chat of one of these drama channels because I'm petty like that sometimes. I don't recommend anybody else do it, and I realize it sounds hypocritical, and that's fine. I just don't really give a shit. But I I went in the chat because it amuses me to fuck with these people. And it was a panel full of fucking idiots. And they were just like, I'm disgusted with the glare. I'm disgusted with the fact that he let this poor woman who was a victim of domestic violence get doxxed right there. And I was like, dude, I didn't even see it. I don't even know this woman's name. I'll be honest. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't have interest in those sort of things. So if I saw her name in the chat, I wouldn't have known what I was fucking looking at. So, you know, and they're like just spinning this narrative like right now. Like, I mean, I think there's a fucking a stalker I got right now talking about how I support domestic violence because I think that this woman is absolutely a liar. No, I don't support domestic violence. Not at all. I just think that she's lying about being a victim. I think she's lying about being pregnant. I mean, so can I explain the situation, why he is in jail in under 10 seconds? He called in under 10 seconds. I don't know what you're talking about, but he turned himself in yesterday morning. And I would assume it's under the advisement of his attorney. So, you know, but yeah, I absolutely think that, you know, and I was just loving the fact that these people were so angry, you know, because they weren't angry about this woman being a victim. What these people do on a daily basis constantly and what they do for content is trash other people. That's all they do. They just trash each other and other people. They fight with each other. They go behind the scenes and there's shit that goes on Discord and then they talk about it live. And then, oh my God, I thought you were my friend, but you're not really my friend. You're a liar. And you talk shit about me and I talk shit about you. But when I talk shit about you, it was because of this and this and this. And for some reason, people enjoy this shit. Beach Life from Massachusetts, subscriber for a while. So glad you are covering this and supporting this movement. Me too. I love it. I hate that it's happening, but I love being a part of it. And thank you so much, Beach Life. So like, and I'm sitting there listening to this logic, and then it's funny because the host of the stupid fucking channel, she plays a part of this recording, right? And I was like, oh, cool, you have it. So I was like, in the chat, I'm like, play the part where this woman says she's going to pull her 4 kids out of bed, put them in her car, drive over to Aiden's house, sit in his driveway while abortion pills take place, and she just performs a self-abortion right in front of her 4 children in his driveway. Like, please play that part. And then she's like, no, that didn't happen. But she never plays it. She never plays the video. Tells me everything I need to know. Tells me everything I need to know. Tells me everything I need to know when Jennifer Coffendoffer has me blocked, but then tags me about things. You know? Tells me all I need to know when this Julie person does the same thing.
CHRISSY Young, not old.
Not old. Good for her.
Nice.
Okay, now I was going to find something else here. Oh, hold on. Sorry, give me a second here. All right. And LTL just shared this with me. I know everyone is waiting for Aiden's story. We really want to get it out there, and he does too. He wrote it before knowing what restrictions would be placed on him. Therefore, some redactions have to be made and double checked. The process is taking longer than anticipated. This is partly due to how long the story is. Unfortunately, it won't be out today. So, okay. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. Tracy, Violette, thank you so much. For Chrissy Young. Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee that that's going to get to her. Don't send me money with the stipulation of sending it to somebody else, because I don't know that woman. I don't know how to get her. I support her, and I agree with everything she just said, but I don't know how to like donate money to her. So so please don't do that. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, not for her, for saying for her speaking out. Right on. Right on. So for playing her speaking out. Right on. Thank you. Now, oh yeah, I was gonna let's see what this dude is saying real quick. He hasn't put anything out in a minute, at least not on YouTube. Well, no, actually, this was last night.
You know, so what made you when did you first become interested in true crime?
So it's been a long time. I think the first one that really got me going was the Casey Anthony case way back in the day. And I was like obsessed with that one. And for a long time, I was always talking to my husband or my friends about true crime. And the way that the TikTok kind of came to be is there was this story about a girl whose parents left her on a couch because she refused to get up. I have it on my TikTok. And they just left her there. And so she was defecating on the couch, peeing on the couch, and she ended up passing away on that couch. And the parents lived with her in this house.
It's Coffindoffer's doppelganger. Coffindoffer's doppelganger. Coffindoffer's doppelganger. I just like saying that because it's fun. Coffindoffer's doppelganger.
And I found this to be insane. So that day, I was telling my husband again, and my kids are younger and they're really into TikTok. And I'm like, you know, my husband's like, why don't you put it on TikTok and put your face out there? Because all my other ones, it wasn't me. It was just little like snippets. So I did that.
It's Coffindoffer if you ordered her on Wish.
And that
I don't know who the
it
fuck
went,
she is.
like crazy viral. Like it was like 500,000, a million. So it's up to like
clever.
7.5 million. I looked terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. And so then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep posting. I'm just going to see how this goes. And it kind of just took off from there.
Well, that has not been my experience. My experience has been more, you know, 20 viewers, then up to 100, then maybe up to sometimes a couple hundred. And, you know, the videos definitely, I haven't done much on TikTok, but I have been getting into it a little bit over the last couple of months, but nothing like that.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, so my husband does YouTube and I do TikTok, and he has YouTube. He has like 50,000 followers. It's much harder to get followers on YouTube than it is on TikTok. So I'll give you that. And you have a good amount, you know, it's much easier just to take off with something. People follow you and they never come back. So it's not as impressive as I want it to be, but it's there.
So what kind of cases do you prefer? The kind that are unsolved or solved?
For the most part, unsolved. John Benet Ramsey was another big one of mine. Madeline McCann.
What a stupid question. Which cases do you like more? The ones that are solved or unsolved? Like, what difference does it fucking make?
And another huge one I was obsessed with. So it's mostly the unsolved, and it's mostly like the psychology of why people do the things that they're doing that really gets me into a lot of the true crime. And
Yeah,
that's
same
what
here.
really has me hooked, because it's so much of like,
I mean, I agree with that. You know, like I follow true crime because mostly like I'm fascinated with like, why the fuck would somebody do that? That's insane. What the fuck would make somebody do that?
the cult kind of a thing, and then the crime itself, and the way they kind of all put it together to seem like this massive conspiracy, and then just kind of like the downfall of that, and watching all the characters.
Oh
go
yeah,
through all that.
there's all kinds of side stories here, and it seems like
Yeah.
a new side story every day.
So the drama, got it.
Okay. But
Yeah,
I still
that's
wanted
why-
to just get a little bit more about you and your channel too, before, and then we'll definitely go to
Yeah, no,
everybody's-
totally. I'm happy to talk about it, but yeah,
Stupid asshole.
it's really just all kinds of. My father was a policeman, and my uncles
Oh.
were investigators, so it's kind of like in the blood. And I remember running this story by my dad, and he's like, "Wow, this is an interesting one." And then I just, once I get hooked, I just can't stop.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Yeah,
So-
it's definitely. What are some other ones?
Fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
Hold on. Why didn't that? Hold on. I'm having a technical issue here, folks. Okay.
Stop.
Yeah,
So-
it's definitely. What are some other ones? Obviously, John Bonet Ramsey. What else?
Yeah.
What are some other ones that have gone really big
Some
for you?
more recent ones that I came across on TikTok, which kind of fit into this, are a lot of people on TikTok are running these like scams where they say that they were trafficked or whatever, and people give them money. So I kind of fell into trying to like debunk those people and show that their stories are made up, because they're just
Why the fuck do you think that I don't like follow true crime on TikTok?
taking money from people. They're
I
totally
barely follow it on YouTube. Like I look at news reports and I look at documents, and then if there's like a news report on YouTube, then I'll stream it, or I'll stream like a channel like this just to make fun of it.
lying.
Mhm.
I've reached out to their families, so there's that side of it too. Is like the kind of like the shady parts of social media and people using their platforms to lie and make money. So that was one thing. So I do.
You mean
look
like
into that a
Plevin?
lot too. There was a few of them, and then another really interesting one. I don't know if you saw this, was the Alan Kasanoff and Catherine Kasanoff case. This was a few months ago. So it was actually in New York, and it was a mom who was having custody battles with her husband for years, and she ends up going.
So this is updates in the Karen Reed case. You can see the title at the top. The fuck is this lady talking about? And why is he so interested?
To, I think it was Switzerland, to commit suicide, where they let you, I guess you could go there and give them whatever reason that you want to do
Everything
that.
she's
So
saying is
before
so
she did that,
fascinating.
she put out all of this info about the husband, right? Like, he made me do this, and I lost custody of my girls. And there was another one that I really fell for, and I believe that he was abusive towards her. And as time went on and I looked into it more, I reached out to him and family members. It turns out that the story was completely different than the way that she put it out there. It was like almost like her death wish to put it out there that he would just get like shit on for the rest of his life and lose his job. And he did.
Wow.
Y'all
That's
are
an
the
interesting
worst,
motive.
man.
Him.
Y'all are terrible.
And so that was another one of the cases where I was wrong, because at first I did think that he did do those things, and then I had to go out, lie, or go on TikTok and say I was wrong, and say, you know what, it's actually the opposite of that, and this is what really happened. So that one got me beat up a little bit, but still not as bad as this. But the truth is, I'm wrong, and when I'm wrong, I admit it. If new facts come out, I'm fine with saying, "Ooh, I got this wrong."
Well, that's the important thing too, and I want to talk about that too as a fellow creator. Is so I've talked about in the past week the idea of grifting on YouTube, and for me, the idea of you know, there's kind of a big part of grifting. We're all going to make mistakes. We're going to get things wrong.
Yeah.
That's not, but grifting is when you don't care about the truth. You're not even really pursuing the truth. You know,
Correct.
you're not trying to get both sides.
Bro. Like,
so you're just trying to ride a wave and just get viewers on it. I just find that to be, you know, because and the thing is, it's one thing if you're doing this on an old case, say you're talking about Jack the Ripper or something like that.
Right.
You're not hurting anybody, you know.
Right.
But these are current cases, and these are, in this case here, this is a trial that hasn't happened yet, and these are innocent people that have not been accused.
Okay. See, normally I would agree with him. This is actually something that I have said on my channel many, many, many times. And I say this all the time. I would rather be wrong about someone's innocence than wrong about their guilt, because most of the time people just jump to the conclusion that somebody's guilty. But what's really funny is why isn't he doing that about Karen Reed? His justification is that she's accused and she's on trial for it, so it's okay to sit here and jump to the conclusion that she's guilty. No, she's still innocent until proven guilty, and has not yet been proven in court. Sully, P777, thank you. Do you think Turtle Boy is making friends in the clink right now? I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is, actually. Thank you. I'm sure he is. He's a very personable guy. So I'm sure he's not, you know, having a hard time. I mean, he's in there for exposing cops. I'm sure he's making really good friends in there.
Accused of a crime that are being smeared in these cases too. So
Big
I
time.
think, yeah. So I mean, it's just. So what are there any kind of rules that you go by when you're deciding how you want to cover cases or what cases to cover in terms of
So
that?
I think I've learned I've been doing it like on there for maybe almost 3 years, but I realized, like, you know, just like everybody else, I kind of jump.
Yeah, like it's the thing is that I'm also getting a lot of shit from my haters that are like, oh my God, the Glare just sold out. And he's doing exactly the opposite of what he's always said. And I could see that being seen that way if you haven't actually done any due diligence and looked into the case. I could see that. But the fact is if you actually did your homework and you actually looked at the documents, you could absolutely see straight up that this woman is being railroaded. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. People are lying, and it's being covered up, and people are being arrested in order to shut them up. And it's obvious. It is in your face that it's happening. And that's why I'm talking about it the way that I am. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. As I said, when I first looked into this case, I was like, I'm going to do this live. Because I was not quick to jump to this conclusion that a bunch of cops were, at the very least, even negligent on such a massive scale. There was no way that I was going to jump to that, you know? But I looked into it, and then I was just like, this is fucking crazy. This is like a bad movie. Like, what is going on?
Jump on like the most exciting thing. I'm like, wow, this seems like a crazy case. I can't wait to get it out there. And I think the thing that I learned for myself is now to, before I put it out there, really look into it, because now then I end up backtracking, and I took down all my videos that were, you know, smearing these people at all, because I felt terrible. And then I think I just have to look into things more before I get excited and look at this like fun conspiracy theory and put it out.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my personality. And then afterwards, I felt bad because I'm like, you know what? I was a part of
Look at
the
these
problem.
fucking idiots, huh?
So I took
Where do
down
you
all
get
those videos. And then what bothers me is that people come after me. Oh, you're trying to profit off of this or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I took down all the videos that were viral on this. And now I have these videos that have 800 views, 900 views. So if I really wanted to ride the wave, I would have left those up, you know?
Right.
So, and I didn't. But they don't look at that. They tell a story and they go with it all the time.
You mean
So
like,
yeah, I know you're in.
You mean like everybody, and like you mean like the guy that's next to you right here and what he does on Twitter? You mean like him? Lady, do you even know who you're talking to right now?
You don't have to tell us where, but I know you're somewhere in New York State.
Mhm.
What drew your interest to this case?
That's an interesting story. So my best friend used to live in New York, and she moved to Massachusetts, and one of her family members lives in Canton. So
Okay,
one day,
you guys got to know that's not Coffindoffer. That's just some lady that looks like her. I'm like 90% sure.
she sent me, it was his first blog, the first Turtle Boy. I had never heard of Turtle Boy, nothing. She's like, you better read this. This is right up your alley. So I read it. You know, the first one was so.
Let's see. Turtle Boy is booked for a DV charge, and his lawyer said he's working with the feds. I'm sure the other inmates welcome him with love and open arms. Yeah, you're probably right. No strays. Thank you. Yeah, you're probably right. I agree.
So deep with all of this info that he had, and it kind of went viral, I guess, the blog. And I fell right into it. I was like, wow, like, what are the chances? You know, like if she Googled 227, that's it. You know, that's the end of the case right there. And so that kind of drew me in, was the 227 and the dog, and a lot of these little pieces that kind of upset me at first, but now are just like very simple answers, you know, that amazes me that some people just won't look at it that way, even still, because all those things that have been debunked, they just won't admit that they've been debunked, and they're riding that still.
It's because they weren't
strongly.
debunked.
So that's what got me into it. I probably would have not known.
They weren't debunked. Just because something has an explanation that comes from somebody who claims to be an expert, like it doesn't mean that it's debunked, because you have to look deeper than that. You don't just go, oh, well, it's because a window was open, and you know the previous window, when it was first opened at 227, and then the search took place later. Okay, well, if that's the case, then what you're going to have to do, what you have to, everyone fails to realize this when they make this argument. And I love it. It's hilarious to me, actually. As tragic as it is, it's fucking hilarious. Sorry. Man, dude, that reeks, bro. Clever totally farted. That shit reeks. And I know he didn't poop in here because I just took him out and he pooped. So, but damn, Clever. He does that sometimes. What nobody who makes this argument ever acknowledges the fact that that's going to set a whole new precedent. It's going to set a whole new precedent. Like, what's going to end up happening, like, if that's the truth, then every single case, every trial, and I've said this before, nobody wants to acknowledge this, but every single trial in the past that convicted somebody based on Celebrite technology and cell phone data and timestamps in that cell phone data that the Celebrite technology uncovered, well, those cases are going to have to be reopened. Any attorney that I have, any attorney that is sitting there looking for any reason to reopen a case, if that shit flies in the Karen Reed trial, then anybody sitting on death row, anybody sitting in prison is going to have their case retried under the grounds that the Celebrite technology is it's bunk. It's bullshit. A timestamp, a search, Celebrite technology that tracked it. And then what? So every other single crime, every other single conviction that took place based on that evidence is going to have to be retried. Why doesn't anybody want to acknowledge this? Why? Because, you know, we're the ones that are like, oh, well, it's, you know, we don't want to see the simple answer. It's not a simple answer. It's not a simple answer. Because I call bullshit. Because that's going to be the prosecution who has lost all kinds of evidence already. Their expert is going to be the one who makes this claim. And the defense is going to have their own expert. And the defense is confident about this. We've heard the defense on court TV. We've heard the defense straight up say, yes, we have our own experts. This search was made at that time, and we're going to run with this. It can, Frankie 5. It absolutely can. It just hasn't yet. But the only way this is going to reach national news is if the protests continue to happen and people continue to talk about it, use their platforms to talk about it. That's how this is going to reach national news. If the numbers grow as far as spreading awareness of this case, that's the only way. Because you're right. Like, why? I mean, if there's all this evidence and this is all this craziness is happening, why aren't national news conglomerates talking about this? That is a great question. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everyone's afraid to talk about it. Everyone's afraid of coming off like they're anti-cop. And it's not being anti-cop to just point out some dirty cops. And whether they're dirty or not. I mean, I'll settle for negligent. I'll settle for that. For now, pending an investigation. I'll settle for negligent pending an investigation. That's what I'll settle for. But why? You know what I mean?
If my friend didn't send me that, because it's not as big of a case as everybody thinks it is in Massachusetts, you know?
Yeah, no, it's really not. And even in Massachusetts, I think the majority of people really don't know anything about it. Although some people are kind of coming on more recently because there's, you know, the Turtle Boy had his picture on the front page of the Boston Herald last week, and you know, and you're seeing more coverage in the news. So it's just making people that are curious to say, what's going on with this case? Why is everybody talking about it? You know?
Right.
But yeah, outside of Mass, and that's the thing too is, if there is no conspiracy outside of Massachusetts, people are going to be, it's going to die. They're going to like, why is anybody even interested in this case?
Right.
It's just a
It
hit
was
and
a
run.
hit and run, really. It was a hit and run.
You just heard Plevin say it himself. That's what he wants. He wants, as long as nobody outside of Massachusetts is talking about this, it's just going to die out. That should put a fire under everyone's ass who's not in Massachusetts, who cares about this case. That right there, coming from that fucking asshole right there. Sorry, Plevin, but you just really outed yourself there. You're counting on everyone to just shut the fuck up. Why not have everybody talk about it? If you feel so strongly and you're talking about it as much as you are, why are you so loud about getting people to shut up? Why would you be afraid of the truth? And then he would probably respond, well, I'm not afraid of the truth. I'm afraid of the lies. You don't have to worry. People are smart, man. You know, people can do their due diligence. Find out if there's not enough evidence. These true crime aficionados, they want her to be guilty. They love to hate a Jezebel. A jealous, angry woman who hit her police officer boyfriend with her car. They want to believe that she's guilty. These people who follow true crime for the drama, who love to have someone to hate. That is how the true crime genre works. The people who actually follow true crime cases based on the same philosophies that you do, which are, what are the chances? These are people who say, well, the statistics indicate, because that was your whole argument that one time, right, Plevin? I'm going to mathematically break this down. And then you basically just said the probability of there being a conspiracy was weak. We know the probability of there being a conspiracy is weak. That's what makes it so fucked up. We know that. We know that it's minute, that the probability is minute. But see, this is the thing, is these are people, more than half of the cases that I've covered, I feel like I'm doing fucking crowd control, going, hey, chill out. Pitchforkers, chill the fuck out. And these pitchforkers all operate under the same mentality, which is, well, the statistics show that it's usually the parent that is responsible for the child to go missing. Statistics always show that it was the spouse who was responsible for the murder. And then they sit there and they watch a husband or a wife plea on the news and go, oh my God, and then they go, acting. Look at that actor. Look at that, oh, he's guilty. Look at his body language, because everybody's a fucking body language expert too, right? Everybody says, oh, look at the body language. And then half the time it's not even the husband or the wife or the parent. Half the time. Uh-oh.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
There you go, Sully P. Thank you so much, buddy. I mean, yeah. And everybody was so sure. And then their excuse is always, well, if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. But I'm sure it was the husband. You know, I'm sure it was the girlfriend. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. What's your apology going to do after you spun a narrative for months and months and months that this person was a murderer when they were actually grieving the person who died in the most horribly violent way that one could think of? What's your apology going to do after you've done all this damage? I mean, and that's always the same people. And it's ironic that those very same people are the same people who think that Karen Read is guilty. And I don't think it's ironic at all. I mean, I definitely don't think it's a coincidence. These are people who don't do any due diligence, don't do any research, and they don't give a shit, and they think it's fun to just throw mud at somebody, and they justify it because she's the girlfriend and because she happens to already be on trial. But for some of us critical thinkers, we need more than that. We need court documents. We need to find out how the law enforcement agency that was charged with the responsibility of investigating this came to the conclusion that Karen Read was absolutely guilty of this crime. We want to know answers. And it's so funny. People are like, oh my God, you know, lock him up. Lock up Turtle Boy because, you know, he shouldn't be out there doing this. Dude, I'll tell you something right now. I can name you two people. I won't, but I can name you two people that have been in this chat, that have followed this case, that if Turtle Boy hadn't FOIA'd the requests that he did, somebody else would have. I can name you two people that absolutely would have. One way or the other, these facts would have came out. One way or the other, somebody would have dug into this shit. They may not have gotten as far as Turtle Boy did because, again, I believe that Turtle Boy's methods that everybody seems to find so questionable, I believe they were necessary. I believe they were absolutely necessary to shake things up and get people's attention. And then they got my attention. I mean, they got me looking even harder, but I was already, I mean, the fact is the stuff that he uncovered is the stuff that I was just like, oh, but I wouldn't have given them a second look if they weren't court documents. If it was just some shit that he wrote in his blog, I would have been like, I don't give a fuck what this guy's saying. That's just what he's saying. I don't give a fuck about that. My point being is anybody with a passion for the truth would have done the due diligence that Turtle Boy did. Now, again, they may not have had his methods. I believe that his methods were necessary. I don't think that it would have picked up the traction that it did because Turtle Boy was relentless. Somebody with his personality and his tenacity saw the same proof that we did. And because of his tenacity and because of his attitude and because of his demeanor, he ran out there and he got in people's faces, doing things that you or I would not probably do. But it got people looking. It got people asking questions. There's no denying that. Right. Yeah. Right. When people compare, I love to hear Bullhorn Betty sit there and go, he did the same shit that I do, except he went too far. And I'm like, you're fucking nuts, lady. Your record is a mile long. JLR's record is a mile long. Not as long as yours, but he actually did prison time. And like, yeah, it requires work that y'all aren't willing to do. And you just bark up the wrong tree all the time. You call yourselves investigators, but you don't investigate anything properly at all. You know? I mean, it's crazy and asinine that people would, well, the Glare is a hypocrite because he criticizes JLR and criticizes Bullhorn Betty, but Turtle Boy does the same exact thing that they do. No, Turtle Boy does actual like investigating and work. And he's provided me, along with all of you, with court documents, receipts, as we like to call in the community. Receipts, proof. He provided proof of these things. I just cannot fucking believe the power of spin in this circus. Good to see you all tonight. It's good to see you too, Michael Ray. I mean, it's just it's just funny to me, you know, like here, like here, bro. I do this every time. Anybody, like, this is all you have to do. I know it's a lot because it requires reading, but there you go. It's in the chat. There's all the documents you need. Use some common sense. Compare the statements. Look at everything. Look at all of the evidence that's been lost. Look at the motions filed. Look at the ones that are approved and denied. Look at all of this stuff. All of this stuff. And you tell me if this woman is getting a fair trial based on a proper investigation that brought her to trial in the first place, that she was arrested under just circumstances. You tell me that if you actually have any common sense. But it's funny. These are people who just don't want to read. They just don't. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that came from the DA's office. The cop said so on the body cam footage, I think. No, it wasn't on the body cam. It was in the report that I read, but it was the DA's office. The DA's office came down on the Canton Nine. They sent the cops down there. Basically, Chris Albert called the DA's office, and the DA's office sent the cops there to arrest the Canton Nine. That's what happened. Everything comes back to the DA's office. Because every single time that you see Turtle Boy or anybody else supposedly breaking the law, the stuff that they're charged for, felonies, every time you see those things happening, because there's video footage of almost all of it, there's always a cop right there. There's always a couple of uniformed cops. Why aren't they being arrested on the spot if they're breaking the law? Why are they getting orders directly from the DA's office to arrest them? Who has something to hide here? Who is afraid of the truth? I mean, I'm not going to stop talking about this. Not until Karen Reed's trial is over. I'm not going to stop talking about this. It's absolute abuse of power. I mean, at the very least, that's what it is. At the very least, that's what it is. And that right there merits an audit. I mean, why are you trying to shut this guy up so bad? Nobody's asking that question. Why not just let the guy do what he's going to do? What difference does it make? How is he intimidating witnesses by asking them questions? Why is nobody doing their due diligence? It took me a minute to make that decision. Oh, shit. Turtle Boy got arrested? Oh, my God. And then I got a hold of the charging documents, right? And then I was like, well, this is easy. All you had to do is go onto his YouTube channel and look him up. And so I decided to do it live. And anybody else could have done this. Dude, those charging documents were sent to me by Sleuthy Goosey like that. She DM'd me on Twitter, was like, here, there you go. And I was like, all right, I'm going through every single one of these. I've got titles and I've got timestamps, and I'm going to be objective. So, like, why doesn't anybody else do this? Is my point. I don't deserve any type of notoriety or recognition for doing that simple due diligence. I'm saying everybody should have fucking done that. Anybody jumping to the conclusion that this guy is breaking the law, anybody coming to the conclusion that that Ken Mello is some sort of crusader for the people, anybody jumping to that conclusion, all you have to do is just look at the charges that he's accusing Turtle Boy of, and then look up the evidence that he's claiming and putting in front of a judge and planning to put in front of a jury. There's the video title, there's the timestamp. Does what happens in the video that they pointed out, as far as the title and the timestamp go, does the content of that video match what is said in the charging documents saying that it says? And 9 out of 10 times it did not. I did 5 live streams on this, went over each and every one. And 9 out of 10 times they did not. But nobody wanted to do this themselves, did they? When you could have. Anybody with a phone. Anybody with a fucking phone could have done this. Just, okay, this says that. Search, video title, Turtle Boy. Boom. Timestamp. Fast forward it. Right there. My little finger. Whoop. There you go. But since when is it illegal for since when is it, illegal for a journalist to have a source within law enforcement to uncover corruption? or a conflict of interest, which is technically what it was. Why was Jennifer McCabe's car at Trooper Proctor's home? I can understand Trooper Proctor's vehicle being at Jennifer McCabe's home, but why was Jennifer McCabe's vehicle at Trooper Proctor's home? That's a clear conflict of interest. That's not Turtle Boy that fucked up Karen Reed's trial and the prosecution's case. That's the investigator. That's Proctor who fucked it up. Turtle Boy didn't lie about Proctor having a personal friendship with the McCabes. He didn't lie about that. Michael Morrissey lied about it to the public. All Turtle Boy did was uncover it. And yet everybody just wants to ignore this too. These are the things that we have to keep in mind, folks. These are the things that we need to keep talking about. I realize it's not as exciting because we don't have Turtle Boy hyping us up twice a week on his YouTube channel or on his Facebook page. I understand that. I get that. But this isn't about Turtle Boy. And Turtle Boy, I believe, would tell you the same thing. It's not about me. It's about the information that I provided you with, and what are you going to do with it? Because again, people, I cannot reiterate this enough. If we do nothing with the information that he provided us with, that he's sitting in jail for providing us with, then he's in jail for nothing. He went to jail for nothing. And I personally do not, I won't let that happen on me. I won't let that be on my conscience. I'm going to use my platform the way that I always have, and I will continue to do so. And if I can go out to Canton, I will. If I can, I will. But at the very least, what I'm going to do is continue to talk about this case. I mean, I think that's the least. I mean, I don't consider myself a turtle writer, and that's just my own personal weird shit that I don't do. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to call a grown ass man fucking daddy, bro. I'm not doing it. Y'all can do that. And I that's fine. I respect that you guys do that. It's just, there's nothing in my personality that I think would indicate to you that I'm the kind of guy that's going to call some dude daddy. You know what I mean? It's just not in my nature. But I respect the fact that he has a following. You know what I mean? And I respect and I'm grateful to the guy for providing us with the information and putting himself in the position that he did, put himself in, and making the sacrifice that he's making right now to provide us with that information. I choose not to squander that information. Simply, I just choose not to squander the information that he put himself at risk to get me. Hellfish Haven Facts, thank you so much. And Calamity Jade, thank you so much. Because your state could be next. Exactly. This isn't just a Massachusetts thing. This is anywhere thing in the United States. If you believe and care about your freedom, then stand up for it. Stand up for it. Now, you have the right not to, but you have the right to do so as well. And I would encourage anyone to simply stand up for their basic human rights. I'm not asking you to do anything illegal. I'm not asking you to harass anyone. I'm not asking you to intimidate anyone. I'm not asking you to do anything that is going to, that you know could get you in trouble because you are crossing moral boundaries. I'm asking you to find it in your heart to stand up for what you believe in whatever way that fits your personality and how you do things yourself. I mean, however you choose to do. I absolutely encourage you to do that. And you have the right not to. And I would support your right. I would support you and your decision if you choose not to. But it's only within my personality that I would be remiss if I didn't encourage you to find out what it is that you believe in, whatever it is, and stand up for it. Thank you so much, Diane Gagney. Clever needs more toys, and the super chat song. You got it. Oh my goodness.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that so much. Wow, you guys were amazing tonight, man. Like, I love hanging out with you guys, and the support you guys have shown tonight is way generous, and I'm super grateful. It means a lot. I am gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna try to go live again tomorrow. I'm gonna try to go live as often as I can, talking about this stuff, and just keep John O'Keefe's name and Karen Reed's name out there. But hopefully you guys don't get bored with me, you know. But I'm gonna keep doing this. So I think you guys are fantastic, and I'm grateful for you guys. It really means a lot. But yeah, that's it for me tonight, guys. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.